There is so much to look forward to, not only in terms of the drivers, but we've got some new cars on the grid. We've got different teams running different machinery. Adrian Flux with Power Max Racing, the return of Jason Plato, the return of Dan Lloyd as well. An awful lot to look forward to.
The 2021 Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship was one of the fiercest on record. Full grids at every round made sure that the action was intense. At each event, there were 3 championship point-scoring races, with the more successful drivers needing to carry ballast to ensure close racing and variable results. With front and rear-wheel drive cars from manufacturer and independent teams, there was action all the way. There was an option tyre at 4 events, and that softer tyre would affect the pace of the cars and the race results as well. The scene was set for a season full of drama, as dreams were realised or dashed, races won and lost, in the toughest touring car championship of all. It's time for the final 2 weekends of the championship, with action guaranteed as the race action hots up.
Back here at Donington, we are ready for race 1 of the 3 in the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship, round 25 of the series. We've got 3 races here and then just the final 3 at Brands Hatch to determine who is going to be this year's champion. It's 1 of 3 at Donington. Round 25 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship is go. A good start is made by Shedden. Who else gets off the line swiftly? Dan Lloyd covers off Plato. Rory Butcher comes up to the outside.
Battle is for 3rd place side by side with Dan Lloyd, Jason Plato and Butcher, and it looks like Butcher's slightly ahead, but back comes through Plato on the inside. Butcher covers him off though, and I think Lloyd is a little bit closer. He's inching back up onto Shedden.
Gordon Shedden wins at Donington. Checker flag his way. Gordon Shedden the winner. Dan Lloyd 2nd. Rory Butcher 3rd, but only just ahead of Proctor, Turkington, Plato, Sutton to round out the top 7. Engine notes rise, the lights go out. We go racing, and the best start of all comes from Gordon Shedden, who gets the drop. Dan Lloyd is about to be mugged by Rory Butcher on the inside line, heading down towards Redgate for the first time. Butcher goes 2nd, Lloyd changes sides. Gordon Shedden leads the way. His brother-in-law, Rory Butcher 2nd. They have traded the race lead. Up now they come through Coppice. Lloyd is 3rd, 4th is Proctor, but all eyes have got to be on that 5th place car, because look at Ingram go. And there, 3rd is Ingram. Right, got that right. He's up into the top 3. Now for the race win.
Car is really good there.
But Lloyd doesn't exactly roll over, does he? Turkington, yes, gets the place. He had the inside line, but he had to work hard for it coming through the chicane. Right, Ingram wins. Over the line he goes. Tom Ingram wins round 26 of the championship from Gordon Shedden and Rory Butcher. Ash Sutton is 4th. 5th, Dan Lloyd ahead of Senna Proctor.
Dan Lloyd took 2nd in race 1, the best result of the weekend for the team, but a combination of tyre choice and success ballast caused both cars to drop back in race 3, leaving both drivers frustrated. After Donington, the team moved on to the final event of the season, the championship decider at Brands Hatch.
So it is the final round of the 2021 Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. Race 3, lights go red, the action starts now. Sutton gets a good launch, Butcher doesn't. Safety car deployed, and Jack Mitchell is off the road this time. Was it with a bit of an assist? It's going up towards Hawthorne, he spins into view, and off the road he goes. And look at Chilton, he's got them queued up behind him. There's Shedden, there's Goff, there's Butcher, there's Plato, they're all there.
Yeah, Ingram's at his personal fastest lap as well on that lap there, giving it everything in this, the last race of the year.
Now there is Jason Plato, 10th. 2 years ago, of course, he won the last round of the championship, but he ain't going to do it here. He's stuck behind Rory Butcher. His teammate Dan Lloyd is on the back of Smiley as they come over the timing line.
There's Plato and Butcher side by side going up onto the Grand Prix circuit. That's for 9th place.
Which Butcher had and Plato wants and doesn't get, but tried everything. Rory Butcher hanging on in there then as they come down towards the right of Hawthorne this time. Rory Butcher just keeps the place. Toyota that was third on the grid, so it fell back on the opening lap, but he's never really been able to recover. The checkered flag awaits, and so triple quick fit British touring car champion Ash Sutton is going to win the last round of the championship to add to the title. Ash Sutton crosses the line to win at Brands Hatch. Second is just going to be Dan Rowbottom ahead of Tom Ingram. The gap, a tenth of a second between them. Jake Hill is fourth. It's going to be Josh Cook for fifth. Tom Chilton sixth. Seventh goes the way of Gordon Shedden. Eighth, Jack Goff. Rory Butcher is ninth, and Jason Plato 10th. And still they come.
Dan was the better scorer over the 3 races, with a 4th and a 2nd as the squad's better results, while Jason broke into the top 10 in the final race. It left Dan 11th and Jason 14th in the standings at the end of a hard season. Adrian Flux with Power Max Racing finished 7th in the team's championship, with the second half of the season showing positive results, more for Dan than Joe Clean. The team can leave the season with some smiles, but just because the racing has finished, it doesn't mean everyone pauses from work. Jack Constable is part of the team as its BTCC development driver and pedals one of the squad's Cupra Leons in the TCR UK Championship. He's no stranger to the team, as he was due to drive one of the Power Max Vauxhall Astras at Croft last year before a last-minute bout of appendicitis forced him to step down. Having won the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup AM title, Jack is no stranger to driving rear-wheel drive cars, but he's moulding fast with the front-wheel drive formula.
Yeah, well, I think I've settled in quite well to the front-wheel drive. It's been really good for me to jump into a front-wheel drive from a rear-wheel drive. And the car, naturally a bit understeery, has been a bit of a, well, it's been something that I'd liked in a rear-wheel drive car anyway. So to jump in a front-wheel drive car which already has a little bit of understeer setup and is that way, it seems to be a bit easier for me, and I seem to like it a bit more than rear-wheel drive, in all honesty, which is looking good for the touring car.
Jack, for me, is typical of the younger generation of British Touring Car Championship drivers, I think. You know, young, keeps himself fit, takes it seriously. In a Tin Top Championship, you have to have personality, or you won't get that many sponsors. That's what I found professionally myself. And Jack has all those ingredients for me. I think touring cars is a difficult place generally, not just the British version, but also TCR as well. Tin Tops in general are hard work, but he's got all the ingredients there to make sure that he does a good job, and especially with PMR, in a development driver role, there's no reason why he can't go on and win championships in any kind of front-wheel drive championship, or in any kind of touring car championship. So it'd be good to see his progress.
Not all members of the team work full-time with Power Maxed. One of those, for example, is Sergeant Charles, who works as an aircraft senior supervisor in the Army. We got a rare insight into his world.
My name's Sergeant Charles. I'm currently at Watersham Airfield. I work for 7th Battalion REME. So my role is an aircraft senior supervisor. So my responsibility is to look after a team of guys of around 10 people. So my job would be to get the maintenance task in, go through the list of jobs that we've been tasked to do, and then delegate those roles out to my supervisors and my technicians. I've always been a fan, sort of from a very young age, of motor racing, and I've followed touring cars for a lot of years. And I just generally love cars, so fast cars are even better. So originally I was a mechanic before I joined the Army, so cars were always the first love, if you like. I always wanted to work on cars, and motorsport's always been a hobby, but something I never thought I could get into. So when I joined the Army, being a mechanic was my first sort of career path, if you like. Then I found out that being an aircraft technician was a possibility, so I sort of changed path a little bit to work on aircraft. It was almost a bit of a step up from road cars to working in aviation. But motorsport has always been there as an interest and as a hobby. So by being in the army, I've now had that opportunity to then sort of sidestep into motorsport and work alongside Power Match Racing. Day to day, you kind of get a little bit desensitized to just how sort of special the Apache is, and sort of how highly rated it is, because we see it day in, day out. So you kind of sort of a little bit desensitized to just how other people see it. And that's very much the same for me in race cars. Race cars are at the very top of sort of their level. So to get involved and be able to work at the very top of sort of vehicle mechanicking, if you like, was exciting. Teamwork is very much something that the Army's based on, and everyone knows where they are in the pecking order, if you like. We all know our job, we all know who's doing what and when, and that's very transferable to working with PMR. Everyone's got their role, everyone knows how to do their role very well. So yeah, from an engineering perspective, a helicopter and a car are very different in what they do. However, the basic hand skills and precision engineering that we need to use to keep aircraft flying is also crucial to keep the race cars at the top. So everything's very precise, everything's done within tolerances. So having that mindset and that ability to be accurate and precise all the time then translates into the race cars.
Today, Adam Weaver has travelled to see Fuchs Lubricants to make sure the company remains a sponsor for 2022.
Here we are today in sunny Stoke-on-Trent to see Fuchs Lubricants, to talk about what happened in 2021, make sure they're happy with the coverage that we've provided them, and see if we can tempt them into staying on board for 2022 and beyond.
So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for your involvement over the last couple of years with the pandemic and us kind of having to pause our involvement and then moving on to do a limited offering. I really appreciate your support over such a difficult period.
Fuchs is the largest independent lubricant manufacturer in the world, and it is manufacturer approved. Fuchs provides the team with product as well as ongoing technical support to keep both cars at optimum performance on the track.
So fundamentally, it looks like you'll be on board again for next year?
Yeah.
That's nice to reassurance.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And thanks for coming today. It's been great. So good to get together again.
Yeah. Give you the tour.
Yeah.
Thank you.
2 weeks have now passed since the final race of the season. Dan Lloyd talked to us about the highs and lows of the year.
Yeah, obviously it's my first full season of British touring cars ever. I've been in and out of it, but overall it's been amazing. Obviously a bit of a season of two halves, but yeah, I'm still a little bit on cloud nine, to be honest, at the moment. I think because the first, majority of even over the first half of the season was so tough. This last part of the year has just been unbelievable in terms of results and support and how we've managed to turn it around. So just really happy at the moment, really pleased. It feels like many years of hard work have paid off, and especially with it all happening at the end of the year, it's just a great way to go into winter, obviously, figuring out plans for 2022, and you just hit everything in a much more positive way than when the racing plans are going difficult. I really had no expectations for Silverstone with the bad luck that we had and not quite there with the car, and all of a sudden we were there at the sharp end, and we ended up coming away from the weekend with 2 podiums, which was just incredible. By far, I think that was the highlight of the season. 2 podiums in one day after not even coming anywhere close all year. It was just unbelievable, and
obviously it's now the season's over, everyone keeps asking me what changed, but it was just a combination of so many tiny things that came together. You know, I certainly think we struggle a bit more than other cars over curbs, and Silverstone we don't have any aggressive curbs, so that definitely played a part in it. And then, you know, we took that form onto the last 2 rounds, and in the final 6 races managed to get another 2 podiums at Donington and at Brands Hatch, so it was just an incredible end to the season. The aero makes a big difference. We've felt that a lot this year. You know, places like Thruxton going through turn 1, if you're following the car close, you really struggle to get the front tyres working. One big issue that, you know, we've found for sure throughout the year is the cooling charge temp. You know, if I'm out at the front, the engine keeps nice and cool. If we're in mid-pack and we've got 8 cars in front of us, then we really start to struggle, and it is a big noticeable difference. So I think the biggest part of being at the front is keeping that engine nice and cool and the motor running well. You know, obviously definitely luck fell on my side that day to get that reverse grid, but like I said many times, we get plenty of bad luck as well, so you've got to take it when it comes. But when I got pole, I was just ready for it straight away. I thought, right, okay, let's grab this with both hands and make the most of it. And you know, we were up against Jake Hill, who's a solid title contender. He had barely any weight in the car, 9 kilos or whatever, so it was, you know, it was a fair race, and kept in the lead of him for 11 laps and then kept right up his back bumper for the remainder of the race. So, you know, quite a lot of people said to me, oh, gutted you didn't win, gutted about that, oh, it's a shame. And I was like, no. I said, we've been struggling all year, we've been in a really bad position, and we've just pushed one of the title contenders round for second half of the race. It was a mega result for myself and the team. Of course, I would have wanted to win, but at the same time, you've got to be realistic. You can't go from a car that's struggling for the first 7 rounds of the year to then driving away from one of the championship contenders. So yeah, like I say, it was just an incredible day and a lot of emotions, and to get 2 podiums in that one day, it was just mega. Yeah, so going into the final round at Brands Hatch GP, I was a lot different to all the other rounds. I mean, number one, Brands Hatch GP is my favourite circuit on the calendar. It's my most favourite. And I knew I had 2 mega rounds from Silverstone and Donington. So I just kind of had a lot of weight off my shoulders, and not that I felt a huge amount of pressure before, but I just felt quite relaxed, and I just wanted to have a really solid last round of the season. You know, I've said it many times, and I'm trying to get a career from this. I'm trying to build something so I can stay in British touring cars for quite a long time. I proved that I could be quick, I proved that I could get podiums, you know, in difficult situations. So I just felt relaxed and wanted a really solid final weekend. So yeah, we went out at Brands GP, and the car felt pretty good. You know, from the outset, we were really quick in free practice 1 and 2. I felt really dialed into the car. And going into qualifying, I genuinely thought I could have got pole. Unfortunately, the qualifying session was a little bit tricky. We got a lot of traffic, cars spinning in front of us, cars coming out the pits at the wrong time. I just didn't get the lap that was like, you know, mega, which I definitely think it was there. So we qualified 1300ths off pole in P5, but I think my theoretical, put me P2, like 100th off pole or something. So it was definitely there. So that was mega exciting. And then, you know, we took that into the Sunday, and first race was really solid up to P4. And race 2, it was really interesting one because we finished P4, we put 49 kilos of ballast in for race 3. For race 2. And we thought we were just going to go backwards. You know, we're quite quick without any weight in the car. But the next challenge was, you know, being quick with a bit of weight in. So we were thinking just hold on to sort of P6, P7, getting that reverse grid. And then just got a mega start. I thought I'll go for it. Went for it on the first corner, managed to make up a couple of positions, and we're in P2. pushing Josh Cook round for the remainder of the race. So yeah, again, just mega result with that sort of weight in the car. So it was again another step forward for us, even going into that last round of the season. This is the first time I've raced in British touring cars properly for quite a few years. And you know, I'm 29 years old this year, and I think this year has been a proof of experience starting to pay off in terms of putting presentations together and being able to go and have meetings and sell a good package to sponsors. You know, if I look back on the packages I put together when I was 20 years old and stuff, I'd probably laugh now. So yeah, I mean, the current climate, it's very difficult to get sponsorship, but this is the best job I've done personally. Getting people on board, but also I think it comes with, I've worked, you know, 10 times harder this year than I ever have done from the sponsorship side of things, and it's definitely paying off. So yeah, it's going to be a big decision choosing where I go to next season in terms of what team. For sure, a large part of me would like to stay with PowerMax Racing, just because they gave me the opportunity to come into this season, and I feel like I've been on a bit of a journey with them in terms of coming in and really struggling and developing the car through the season and getting to a point where, you know, we had a podium at the last 3 rounds of the season. For me, whatever decision I make, it's because of I need to put myself in quite a safe, solid position in terms of growing and making a proper career out of this. I don't want to get to the end of every season and wonder what the plan is and be nervous about what the plan is, and me trying to come up with deals very last minute. You know, in an ideal world, I want to have my next season planned before the last round of the season. I'd like to say a few final words in general about the season, just a few thank yous, you know. Number one, to Adam for the opportunity in the first place, for bringing me into his team. All the boys and girls at PowerMax for all the hard work. I'd like to say a big thank you to Jason for being a great teammate. He's been so supportive of me all year, even though he's had some tough times. He's always the first person to pat me on the back and say, well done. So fair play to him for being like that with me. I've learned a lot from him. Obviously all my sponsors, but a massive thank you to my parents as well. I've never had so much support off them this year. Never come to so many races in my life together, so that's been amazing. And again, it's just been a nice journey what we've done this year. So in general, I feel like I'm probably at my most enjoyable point of my career so far. I feel like I've kind of finally made something, and I've finally found where I want to be. I've jumped in and out of so many different championships and cars, and like, yeah, I think now's where I feel good about where I am. So yeah, thanks to all those guys, and try not to get too emotional. But yeah, it's been a great season.
With that, the season draws to a close for PowerMax Racing. It's been a tough year for the team, but it is looking to build on the highs going into 2022. The team will soon be back on track for another season in the UK's premier motorsport series, the QuickFit British Touring Car Championship.